2 months to go for the general election in India. The Modi government today presented its last budget. Finance Minister Piyush Goyal provided something for everyone to cheer about in this budget. Let's straight away bring you the key takeaways. The income tax exemption limit has been hiked from 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs. This means that those who earn up to 5 lakh rupees every year will not have to pay income tax. There is more, in fact. Standard deduction for the salaried class has been hiked to 50,000 rupees, so it's a substantial relief for these lower income groups. There's relief for farmers as well. The Indian government announced a direct income support for the agriculture sector. The scheme will give 6,000 rupees to farmers with small land holdings. It will cost the exchequer 75,000 crore rupees.
Primary reason for a spurt in non-performing loans and stressed assets. 2019-20 के लिए भारत सरकार के अनुमानित वितरण प्रस्तुत करने के लिए I can proudly say restored the image of the country. इस सरकार की उपलब्धि रही this period. We are the fastest growing major economy in the world today, with an average GDP growth higher during the last 5 years.
There's more good news, in fact, for the agricultural sector. 2% interest subvention will be given to those farmers who have been severely affected by natural calamities. A pension scheme has been announced for the unorganized sector, and a short monthly pension of 3,000 rupees will be given to the unorganized workers when they turn 60. The defence budget has been revised with a substantial hike this year. The finance minister told Parliament that more than 3 lakh crore rupees will be allocated for the defence budget.
सरकार के अनुमानित वितरण प्रस्तुत करने के लिए I can proudly say individual taxpayers having taxable annual income up to rupees 5 lakhs will get full tax rebate. जो vulnerable किसान हैं, जो छोटी जमीन रखते हैं, 2 हेक्टेयर तक की जिनकी जमीन है, 2 हेक्टेयर तक की जमीन को, उन सभी को सीधा उनके इनकम में सपोर्ट, डायरेक्ट इनकम सपोर्ट 6,000 रुपए प्रति वर्ष के हिसाब से देने का निर्णय सरकार ने किया है. Our government proposes to launch a mega pension yojana, namely Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan. Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan will be for the organized sector workers with monthly income up to rupees 15,000. This pension yojana shall provide them an assured monthly pension of rupees 3,000 after they achieve the age of 60 years. पहली बार हमारा डिफेंस बजट 3 लाख करोड़ से बढ़ के 2019-20 में प्रावधान किया गया है. For securing our borders and to maintain preparedness of the highest order, if necessary, additional funds will also be provided.
Jim Rogers, chairman of Rogers Holdings and Wheel and Interests. He's an American businessman and investor joining us live from Hong Kong. Good evening, Jim. We've been looking at reactions from India, both political and from the business and industries. How does the world see this budget, this election year budget of the Modi government?
Well, Ms. Sharma, first of all, I'm in Singapore, not in Hong Kong. I mean, not too far away, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's another case where India is going deeper and deeper into debt. I mean, I know politicians try to buy as many votes as they can, and Mr. Modi's doing a very good job of preparing for the next election. I don't consider it good for India. I don't consider it good for the world. And it certainly doesn't make India more attractive to me, and perhaps not to other investors either.
All right. Are you surprised that this was a populist budget? They put populism over prudence at a time when they face a massive election barely 2 months from now.
Sharma, every nation, every politician in the world knows what to do before there's an election. You buy as many votes as you can. Mr. Moody's doing what every other, including America, don't think it doesn't happen in America too. You go out, you give as much away as you can right before the election, and then you get a lot of votes. I'm sure Mr. Moody's going to be reelected. He's given everybody in sight something, except me. And maybe not you, but he's given something to everybody around.
I'm still trying to figure out what there is in it for me, but this is the nature of the beast. We have to understand this is how politics works. One of the criticisms coming the government's way is that they've not adequately addressed, if they've addressed at all, the problem of unemployment. I want to broaden that question and ask you, isn't this something that governments across the world are grappling with? Everyone's making a lot of noise, but nobody has a solution, a proper solution on how to create more jobs.
Well, I think what Mr. Moody would answer is that he's doing a lot to make the economy better, and that will trickle down so that more people will have jobs. That's what most politicians say at a time like this. You improve the economy, many people will get new jobs because of improving the economy.
And the SOPs for the farmers, we do know that the agricultural sector is in distress, and this may be a short-term plug, a short-term solution, and a lot more certainly needs to be done. But do you think that giving these farmers this direct cash transfer of 6,000 rupees per year is going to help alleviate their suffering?
See, Ms. Sharma, you should be a farmer. Then you would get something. No, well, obviously everybody likes to get a free lunch, and every farmer is going to be very happy to get this. But I mean, farming in India has many problems. That are structural problems. They have all these rules and laws and regulations supposedly to protect the farmers. They make the farming worse. It's more difficult to be a farmer in India than many other countries. If they would get rid of the regulations, get rid of the requirements, maybe Indian farmers will be more prosperous. Giving them a handout is not going to improve Indian farming.
I'm going to play the devil's advocate here because there's no one from the government side to present their case. The government claims that job seekers have become job creators, that India is the second largest hub for startups in the world. They're throwing numbers of growth projections, not just from the government's own estimates, but international estimates. So the going seems to be good for the Indian economy and the Indian system, and they can take these risks, if at all, and they can splurge a little more and not worry so much about the fiscal deficit that they have projected upwards to 3.4%. Would you not agree?
Well, you're the second largest country in the world by population. I would expect you to have a lot of people trying to do startups and make businesses. And there are plenty of very, very, very smart Indians. I mean, everywhere in the world, we know that there are plenty of smart Indians. So, but that statistic alone doesn't say very much, not to me anyway. And again, I want to emphasize, Ms. Sharma, India is getting deeper and deeper into debt. Every year the budget comes out and the politicians say, we're going to address the budget, the deficit, we're going to address the national debt, and don't worry, by 2000-something, it's going to be better. Here they are again. Read it. Same thing they say every year, and every year it gets worse.
All right. You don't sound very optimistic this Friday evening, but this is what Indians have got, and most people are cheering this budget. Thanks very much, Jim Rogers. Appreciate your perspective. You want to make a point?
Yes, everybody should cheer it. Money's being poured into the economy. Money's being poured into the markets, everything. Yes, it's great for everybody. It's not good for the long term of India or the long term of you or the long term of me. But it's great. It's wonderful right now.
I want to understand why you think it's not good for the long term, because India is the only country that has been spoken of as a silver lining when the world economy is slowing down.
I don't know who says that. I know that well, it depends on which way you're looking. I know that Indian debt is going higher and higher and higher. Yes, as I said, Ms. Sharma, if you give me $1 billion, I will show you a wonderful good time. We will have such a great time if you give me $1 billion. And that's what's going on. It's not just India. Don't think it's just India. But the whole world has had 10 years of supposed great prosperity. It's the longest in American history anyway. It's going to come to an end. You remember 2008? We had problems because of too much debt. Ms. Sharma, since 2008, the debt has skyrocketed everywhere in the world. And the next time we have a problem, it's going to be terrible. not just in India, but all over the world.
We hope not. Jim Rogers, thanks very much for sharing your thoughts with us. Budget day in India, the Prime Minister, of course, has spoken and he has said that the interim budget was only a trailer of the new India to come.
ये अंतरिम बजट है। चुनाव के बाद भारत को समृद्धि की तरफ जो बजट लेकर के जाएगा, ये उसका ट्रेलर मात्र है। ये बजट जन सामान्य के सशक्तिकरण से, देश को सटीक योजनाओं के माध्यम से शक्तिशाली राष्ट्र बनाने की दिशा में एक अहम कदम है। इस बजट में 12 करोड़ से ज्यादा किसानों को, 3 करोड़ से ज्यादा मध्यम वर्ग के टैक्स पेयर परिवारों को और 30-40 करोड़ श्रमिकों को सीधा लाभ मिलना तय हुआ है। साथियों, सरकार के प्रयासों से आज देश में गरीबी रिकॉर्ड गति से कम हो रही है। लाखों करोड़ों लोग गरीबी को परास्त करके नियो मिडिल क्लास में प्रवेश कर रहे हैं। देश का ये बहुत बड़ा वर्ग आज अपने सपने साकार करने में और साथ साथ देश के विकास को गति देने में जुटा हुआ है।
So how was this budget? It depends on who you're asking. The opposition calls it a damp squib. The government says it's a game changer. We have our in-house experts, including my colleague Krishna Kumar. He's going to tell you what are the big takeaways, what he believes are game changers in this interim budget of 2019. Krishna, over to you.
So the budget of 2019 is an interim budget yet it announced some game-changing reforms, at least big reforms, if not game-changing. We're calling it game changers. Let's take a look at the game changers of budget 2019. And number one, clear, was the income tax exemption limit, which was hiked from 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakh rupees. That's double. Indians with incomes of 5 lakh rupees or less get to pay zero income tax. So this is a big move targeting the salaried class of the country. There has been talk of a rising middle class anger, and this targets the poorest of the salaried class in the country. So it's a big move that covers a lot of people potentially voting in the upcoming election. So income tax, no income tax for income up to 5 lakh rupees is clearly the big headline when it comes to this budget. You remember the entire parliament going with chants of Modi, Modi when that was announced. It was also gratuity that's been tripled to 20 lakh rupees. That's an important move as well. Two big moves to woo the middle class voter by the Modi government in this interim budget. Apart from gratuity and income tax, there's also for the unorganized sector, those who are salaried but who are part of the unorganized sector, a pension for them of 3,000 rupees per month. That's a big move. It's a game-changing reform. First time ever has been announced in the country, and it's been announced in this interim budget. Apart from all of this, the big problem for the government heading into this budget was the distress of the farmers. It saw the ruling BJP lose one state election after the another state election, and in the interim budget, for the farmers, 6,000 rupees per annum granted for small farmers only. Keep in mind, farmers who have a maximum of 2 hectares of land in their possession. 6,000 rupees in a direct cash transfer to the public distribution system, or PDT, is considered a game-changing move. And apart from that, we also have, for the rural economy, the government saying that it wants urban quality infrastructure in its villages. So big infrastructure push to boost the rural economy per se, because that is going to be crucial to push India's growth rate, GDP growth rate forward. So for the farmers, there's 6,000 rupees per annum, and this for the entire farming community and the village, the rural part of India, there is an entire SOP. Apart from all of this, the other big game changer was the fact that India traditionally spends a lot on defense, but this time around, the spending on defense has crossed the 3 lakh crore rupee mark. The defense budget has crossed the 3 lakh crore rupee mark, is the highest ever increase. The government essentially putting its money where its mouth is, and that is national security. So these 6 are the big game changers quite unexpectedly announced as part of the interim budget 2019. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Krishna.